Thanks, Mariah. Have a good game. John T, you lost the toss. All right to bat first?
Yeah, happy to bat first. I think the grounds have taken a little bit of the live grass off it from Monday. Boys were in training yesterday, so happy to have a bat, and hopefully it spins a bit later on, so it brings us into the game.
And looking forward to bouncing back from Monday?
Yeah, absolutely. There's some promising signs. Obviously, our first 50 over hit out in a little while, so we knew it wasn't going to be perfect, and we're just working towards getting ready for October when the big tournament is. So great to have a pool over. Hopefully a few more fans on the bank again today, which was great on Monday. And yeah, looking forward to a good day.
Thanks, John T. Have a great game, mate. Cheers. So the news from the toss is that Nepal have won the toss, and they're going to have... As you heard from the toss, Nepal have won it, and they have elected to have a bowl bat. They're batting first, I think. So, very, very exciting stuff. And I'm joined alongside, I'm Charlie Harden, and I'm joined alongside by former Q8 head coach, Kazim Ali.
Good morning, Charlie. How are we? Namaste to all the fans out in the South Asia, watching live, following their team Nepal, and welcome to everybody else who wants this transmission in English. My name's Kazim Ali. I'm happy to be here. It's a sunny day, and it's going to be a great day of cricket.
It certainly is. And just to confirm, as you can see, Nepal won the toss and elected to bowl. We've got Harrison Carline warming up there, just on the right of shot, and getting some throwdowns from head coach Neil McRae. So the first game then, the first of these two DFDS International Summer Series 1 dayers, well, it went Nepal's way. 81-run victory, a brilliant 100 from Kushal Patel, and wickets for Hemant Dami and Arif Sheikh as well. What did you gather from the first game, Kasim? And let's start with Nepal. What was so impressive about their performance which got them the win?
I think the key thing for Nepal, obviously, on the day was to try and get all three disciplines practiced as much as possible. Obviously, they've got the full allotted overs in terms of getting into the late 40 overs. They've batted really, really well. If anything, maybe the middle order could have chipped in a little bit more. Helped out from a fantastic 100 from Kushal. From a bowling perspective, well, the first 6 overs, they were fantastic. And if anything, probably an area to improve will be just trying to be a little bit more clinical towards the back end when they're 8 down and there's a massive partnership that comes on. Maybe they've just stepped off the pressure butter there. But in the field, they were fantastic. So all three disciplines, really impressive. And that's what you want from a touring game like this. It's great to see. And really impressed by the outfit.
And let's just expand on Kushal's ton. We'll get on to Jersey in a moment because there's a little bit of news around the squad. But Kushal Patel, what was so impressive?
He just looked like a man in control. His timing was fantastic. He was a bit slow early doors, but you know, that methodical approach to sort of batting 50-over cricket, that's fine. And then he just opened up. He looked really good in his back foot punches. Anything short, really sort of capitalized on. But more importantly, he really made some really good decisions, and that's the key thing. If there's anything from a coaching point of view for young cricketers here, it's making good decisions for long periods of time and just being patient. I keep harming on about being patient in 50-over cricket. The rewards will come the longer you stay at the wicket, and the easier it'll come to bat on them wickets. And that is a fantastic cricket wicket.
Yeah, it certainly is. And we've had a little chat with the groundsman, and there's a few less millimetres of grass left on it today. 6 mils on Monday and 4 mils today. I wonder if that's got anything to do with some brilliant bowling conditions in the latter part of the first one-dayer. Let's move on to the Jersey side. So Asa Tribe has flown over. However, he's not up for selection today, so he's just part of the squad, bringing a bit of support. What would that, a player of his stature coming into your side, just being around the squad, how does that help the group?
Yeah, it's another fantastic voice. Somebody who's now broken into a bit of limelight, has played some quality cricket, has got some experience around the world now, also into franchise cricket as well. So he will bring a vast majority of experience with him, especially in the last 18 months. He's really taken a shine to a lot of people around the world, and you know, deservedly as well. He's put in the performances, and he's put some big hundreds on the scorecards as well. So his name has definitely been thrown around. But to be here, home country for him with his fellow teammates that he's grown up with, yeah, absolutely. I think that's a massive impact for the day.
Yeah, it was brilliant. I had a brief little chat with him, met him for the first time out on the pitch before play. He gave me a couple insights about the pitch, about the millimeters left on it, and about how firm it is out there, which is so common here at Grainville. Brilliant pitch for batting. They collapsed pretty early doors, didn't they? They were 59 for 8 at one point in the first game. That's going to be a big point to improve on, isn't it?
Yeah, one area I'm sure the coaching staff and the players will want to improve. But again, you've got to give credit to the Nepalese bowlers. They've stuck at it. They've put the ball in the right places, and they were patient with the right lengths. Credit to the bowlers who started off and took them early wickets and put the pressure really back onto the home side. But again, from a batting perspective, this is a fantastic Jersey batting lineup. They've got some excellent cricketers who can really dominate inside the power play, and I'm pretty sure they'll want to come out today, show their true worth, and stick around for a little bit longer.
Well, talking about Jersey's brilliant batting, it was a 106-run stand for the 9th wicket between two men, Charlie Brennan and Daniel Birrell. How impressive was that as a fight back? And many just build a little bit on Charlie Brennan's knock of that around that 80 mark. How brilliant that was to see from a Jersey point of view.
Yeah, at one point it looked like 60 all out, but credit to the resilience shown, the determination and the grit inside that period. He looked a little bit nervous early doors, but actually for a 20-year-old to
Can't believe I just discovered this. Find factory direct prices on Alibaba.com. This. Team Harlem. It's back from there. Probably troubles in their batteries. I don't know.
Yeah, absolutely. And if there's any little bit of critical observation, I would probably say early doors. I'd love my fast bowlers to be just a fraction tighter and target the fourth and fifth as opposed to sixth and seventh, just giving enough time and space for the bat even leave well. But yeah, I mean, again, as Cammy's just come in there, that's probably the first sign from this side that the ball's just kept a little bit low compared to the other delivery. So it'll be interesting to see how the rest of this new ball inside the power play plays out. Rest of this new ball inside the power play plays out. Rest of this.
A good sign there for Jersey. All coming onto the bat nicely. You can hear it echo around the ground, especially off the bat of Carline. He really strikes the ball similar to what we saw from Patel with his 100 on Monday. Seems to be a real ball striker, Carline. Wouldn't be surprised if we see another ball thump away to the boundary with conviction. Oh, it's a play and a miss from Carline. He hops out of the shot. With that shadow back, just looking to get his head a little bit closer to the ball there.
It's always a great shot after the balls hit the keeper's gloves. And there was a sound of bat hitting the ground. And I think he'll be disappointed with that, the way he's committed into the shot. And obviously the ball swung away from the outside of the edge. Be interesting to see whether...
Not sure.
we can get Darnie to do the same from the opposite end as he comes in, looking to bowl strong deliveries and strong lengths. Sets up from his run-up.
Turned busily towards square leg by Googe. That feels to be the main scoring area against Dami. I think when he's going to get it wrong, whether it's over pitched or just a little bit shorter, on the leg stump line, there's a big gap from fine leg all the way to mid wicket where there's not a fielder in sight. And both these two batters will be looking to use that area when Dami gets it wrong.
Yeah, and I think it's also part of the tactical plan to go into the left hip, if you like, and then to shape one away into the slip cordon.
Edged, and it's down towards third man. The fielder is about 5 yards in, and there's the delivery you're just talking about. Almost setting up with a few in swingers and then just having the one that holds its line outside the off stump, and the batter goes for a big flowing drive and doesn't get a hold of it.
Yeah, and it's quite clear to see that the one that's coming back into the left hip is slightly shorter. The one that's obviously going away is slightly fuller, so he can bring the slips into play. But you're right, there is a massive gap on the leg side, and if anything, it's tough to get a massive away swing against a strong breezy wind that's coming across the pitch.
Nice shot from Goose, straight to cover, picked up by Bertel. And sometimes, do you think the danger ball is the one that does slightly swing in, but doesn't swing in as much, because he does get a huge amount of in swing with that wind, and when he does maybe try and hold the line, it might just still move in slightly. Is that a challenge when you see the variation of in swing as well?
Yeah, absolutely. So you need subtle variation and you need subtle differences. You can see in the action it's a predominant in swing action, and you can see from the release point, yes, he does swing it a lot because of his action, helped by this strong breeze. But the one that doesn't swing or just holds its line up with the same action can be the one that's a difficult delivery to pick up, because the cues are the same, but the outcome is not the same. So it can be very, very difficult if you're not watching carefully.
Good to get your thoughts in a moment of with Dami having the action of an in-swing bowler. How do we pick that up in terms of the action? So that one goes through to keeper Asif. That's a little bit low.
So if you from a technical point, if you look at the release point, so the left side isn't as strong as much, so it kind of leaks a little bit more, and the delivery becomes more vertical with the wrist pointing probably more towards fine leg on the point of release. So as you can see from the action, he's almost up at 12 o'clock or a little bit further over, and the release point of the wrist is actually pointed towards fine leg, whereas the outswinger will probably go the wrist pointing the opposite way and the fingers right behind the ball.
Nicely timed past the diving fielder. Dim Sharkey couldn't quite get a hand on it, races away through point for 4, and a good show of timing early on from the Jersey batters, and it's 16 for none.
Fantastic cricket shot, just slightly back of the length, a little bit of width on offer, and he's really crashed into that, diving past the backward point fielder there, and it just goes to show how good of a square this is as well. It's actually kicked off the square and actually got some pace on the delivery as it leaves past the fielder and races towards the boundary. So a really good cricket wicket and a good cricket square.
It's the sign of a great pitch when either you see a perfectly timed on drive where the ball just skips onto the bat, or just like that where you see a back foot punch go away with timing through the covers. Lovely shot from Googe. Carlisle now on strike, new over. Just looks to stay a little bit low and maybe even jag in there from Sampal Kami. It feels like his main method of dismissal that Kami's going for is the 4 men waiting in the cordon.
Yeah, absolutely. And so it should be on a day like this with this kind of situation, but with this responsibility up front.
Brilliant shot. Quite rare you see a cut shot go almost that straight. It's almost hit it through extra cover, beating mid-off on the left side. Really commanding shot from the Jersey opener. 20 for none.
Yeah, looked really in control. Really impressive shot. Back foot punch, like you say. A little bit of an unorthodox area to hit it into, but fantastic shot as it races away to the boundary. And they've got some work to do here, the Nepal guys. It's not as easy as the other night.
Jersey batters will know, though. I just want to continue batting time, though. Because one area you could say as third slip does come out to bolster up the cover field, one thing you could say is they just maybe got slightly ahead of themselves on Monday. The Jersey batters got off to a decent start and then wickets started to tumble. So these still be looking to set a really solid platform this morning. Big swing. Almost a tiny little deviation off the edge there from Carlisle as he walks himself out towards square leg. Very passionate cricketer. He'd have felt that was there to be hit if it wasn't for the extra bit of swing from the breeze. Good bowling from Kami.
Yeah, great bowling, putting in the right area, especially after leaking a boundary. Good comeback. And I don't mind this from Harrison at all. If that's in his area and he's quite positive to hit that, I don't mind showing that intent.
Very interesting how, just from an observer's perspective, sometimes the ball is coming onto the bat absolutely beautifully. And then sometimes we get hints of the latter period of the game on Monday where it is a little bit too paced, a little bit tricky to time. Are you getting that? That too, or is this just a batter trying to get into his innings?
No, it's quite evident. You can see that. And sometimes there's a number of factors that you can look at. It's probably a hard area of the pitch where there might not be as much grass, or whether it's quite bare. The other parts of that could be where the ball is actually hitting the leather as opposed to the seam. So, there's different impacts that you can get off the pitch. But it also depends on the trajectory of the bowler. You look at Sampal Kami compared to some of the Jersey boys, there's different trajectory coming as well. So early doors, there's different challenges. Kami's more of a skiddy bowler, whereas if you look at Dami from the other end, who's not too dissimilar in height, but seems to get a little bit more bounce. But obviously both of them two bowlers are nothing compared to the Jersey frontline bowlers, who are a lot taller in stature, deliver from a different height. The trajectory is different, the bounce is different. So you pose different challenges to batters.
Well, Dami definitely posed a huge challenge to the Jersey top order the other day. Here he is now. Googe prods at one and Gets a single down towards third man. Very intent cricketer is Googe. Sign of a batsman looking for runs with a play down towards third man for good delivery from Dami. And now Carline, who seems to be a little bit more authoritative with the bat. Beautiful delivery. Almost unplayable when Dami is bowling with such skill with the in-swingers and then able to pull out a delivery like that.
Yeah, absolutely. Sign of a really, really good bowler. Lots of experience behind him, and got a real good skill set as well. Just squaring up Harrison there. But again, asking the right questions. Being relentless with his length and line that he's bowling, asking questions about the outside of the bat, and trying to bring his slips into play. Fantastic.
Whip down towards fine leg. It's going to take a little bit of stopping, but Nandan Yadav does well out in the deep, preventing a second run. That's bread and butter for these two, isn't it? When the in-swinger just gets it wrong onto the hips and can whip it away for a nice and easy single.
Yeah, and that often the danger is when you've done all the hard work and you release one that's just gone leaking down leg side. It's not a great sign for a bowler, but unfortunately, they're the fine margins that you're playing with at this level.
Just got a bit of coffee in my throat there, Kaz.
It's the fastest I've seen you move all day.
Not even when I was going to get you a cup of tea for you.
No,
I was pretty quick then. Yeah, both these two opening batters, when they're dismissed on Monday, judging by their reaction, they knew what was on offer. A great opportunity against a top quality side to show you can do it at the best. And Googe already looks more confident batter. Just by the way he's transferring his way into his shot, just as we saw there in the practice shot he made.
Yeah, and a subtle difference there. If again, from my perspective, you've got him out playing the short ball on the last game. It wasn't a convincing shot. It went straight to sort of short mid-wicket. Not really seeing the ball short enough to challenge him again. Because if you've got out with that delivery, I'd probably look to try and set him up again with that delivery and test it again, see if the pattern is there.
There's a beautiful shot. Away through square leg. That's the gap we've mentioned already today. And it's almost a carbon copy of his boundary from Monday. But yeah, you're right. We saw Dami. He's got a sneaky bouncer, doesn't he? And I wonder if that is almost part of the tactic, just to let Patrick Googe almost get comfortable on the front foot. And then that bouncer is more of a target ball than a real ploy when they're building them up consecutively. That's the end of the over, 26 for none.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you're spot on there. From a bowling perspective, and again, good tips for youngsters who are coming through. Try and set your bowler up with at least 2-3 deliveries. Try and get them in the right false sense of security in terms of what they're trying to do, and then set them up with a surprise package.
Now, this is very, very interesting. We saw a bit of him in the first game. Lalit Rajbanshi is looking to make his mark with a bit of spin in the power play. Interesting call.
Early doors, very interesting, especially when the ball's still swinging around.
Yeah.
And he wasn't the first choice spinner to come on. Obviously, with Sandeep being off the pitch, and Dipendra as well, Singh Aries also off the pitch, the off spinner, they've turned to the left arm spin. inside the power play.
Well, we'll see if it works, because there's always that potential that ball can just skid on. And this seems to be the angle, doesn't it? With left arm round to the right-hander. With the new ball, which can sometimes slide on, as I just mentioned, it really brings the pads and the stumps into play. And the reason why there's a slip in is because the spin away from the back. And if Lalek can get a little bit of grip, it brings multiple dismissals into play. And a bit of early intent from Carline earns him a single.
Yeah, two things from me. From a bowling perspective, you want to see if you can extract some spin early doors. Very difficult, but it is a used pitch, so the potential could be a little bit turned to find the right pace and the right bounce in the right area. From a batting point of view, is not to let them get on top. So you're going to have to use your feet. You're going to have to manipulate the gaps and use the power play element in, because there's plenty of gaps over the top.
It's almost feels a bit of a tempter. You know, spin is on with only the two fielders out, as the restrictions ask for. Although I think you might have to help me out here, Kaz. I think I just see the one fielder out in the deep. Yes, out at deep square leg and long off. We've got our two deep men. Blending in with the crowd out there. There's a bit of grip then, taking the shoulder of the bat from Googe. It feels a good play, doesn't it? Until these two start to get accustomed to it. So I wonder if it might be a slightly shorter spell.
Yeah, and often captains might do that. They might go for 3 or 4 overs just to see if they can potentially extract some spin early doors, maybe just change the momentum of the batters, especially if they're getting accustomed to the seam a lot more on the pace of the wicket. Again, I do say it's a used wicket, and he started off really well there, Lale. I mean, he's gone for the one. He's bowled some good areas, good pace. If anything, I'd probably say just go a little bit quicker into the wicket. The flight to delivery might not be as effective. But interesting to see.
End of the over then, 27 for none. And there's our early signs of the Nepal fans in. There you go. They've got the memo. They're on camera, giving us a nice wave. They'll be giving their side plenty of support. So we've got the opening bowler from last game, Karen KC, following alongside Raj Banshee for this first change. What sort of problems did Karen bring in the first game, Kaz?
So quite similar to Dani from that end, relentless in terms of line and length. He'll obviously hit the splice of the bat hard. I would expect him.
Drive on the up. Glorious shot from Carline. Brings plenty of appreciation from his teammates. And Karen starts with the full delivery. It's been put away.
I was just about to say, I expect him to get into his stride quite quickly, but that's a loose half volley. Outside, off stump, hit through the extra cover region. And that looked very stiff and very slow.
I thought you were going to say I was about to say that he might just lob up a wide half volley first ball. There he is, though. If only that was the first delivery.
Yeah, he's a Valley cricketer. He's obviously got a lot of experience. He's been around the circuit for a long time. He's quite an experienced fast bowler for Nepal's perspective, and he will be crucial to their campaign going forward in the next couple of weeks. So I think what Nepal are trying to do early doors is to change the bowlers often as possible, 3-4 over spells, just to see different bowlers in different stages of the game as well, which is great to see.
So you reckon the Raj Banshee decision to bring him on is just to almost test him out with a newer ball? Is that a ploy?
Yeah, often on games like this, from a coaching perspective, I would probably try and throw different elements in there that might come up in the next tournament where you potentially could be giving them time in the middle, but practice opportunities with a new ball. Might not be often that he does bowl with a new ball. So, cover all bases, I would say.
Getting attacked by a fly there, Kaz.
It's a skill and an art.
Launched away by Carline. Dropped short from Karen KC. And he's yet to quite get his radar sorted in his first over. And what we've seen from Carline is just how quick he is at pouncing on the short delivery. And he's been put away for 4, Karen. 35 for none.
Yeah, didn't look like there was a lot of pace behind that. He's capitalized on the length, Harrison, very, very quickly into the vacant mid-wicket area. Helped on by the breeze.
Just the 2 slips in. Karen Casey hits the mark once more.
Just on early observation, we're talking about trying to get the bowlers on from the right ends as often as possible. With the 2 right-handers in and the breeze going across the ground, I would probably like to see the left-arm spinner coming from the other end and the right-arm seamer from this end extracting the swing, because it looks like he's been really challenged with this strong breeze coming.
Just a little bit of low bounce, scuttles through. No, I think you're absolutely right there, Kaz. And especially with the extra drift you can get on the ball with the wind, they almost can then add on to the slide, because when you're facing a left arm off spinner as a right-hander, you're expecting the ball to move away with grip. And when the drift comes into play more, it almost over accentuates the one that slides on.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's probably the first time that they might have got the ballers on from the wrong end in the 2 games. However, they might know something that we don't know.
I'm sure that's not the case.
The A-team.
Yeah, indeed. Googe then on strike. 15, Harrison, they've set a good, solid stall out so far, these 2. Rajbanshi looking to turn the new ball. Just 8 overs in, 35 for none. There's an evidence of the ball just sliding through. Just after this ball, Kaz, it'd be great to hear your thoughts from a spin bowling point of view. When both the variation of the ball sliding and gripping come into play, how much of an effect can the bowler have on that? Or is it simply you run up and bowl the same every time and it's the natural variation from the ball of the pitch?
I think he can be very effective. A slight change in the grip, a slight angle change, a slight angle change from hitting in the crease, a release in, a difference in the slight trajectory. So the release on where you're coming from, the pace that you're putting on. There's lots of different variations spinners can bowl. And one thing that I encourage is, somebody who's worked with some quality spinners before, both at county level and international level, is to really work on all these repertoires as much as possible, because they're the tools that are going to help you, figure out.
Slap down the ground. It's going to be a chase on. I've just had to stop it with my foot. It's a brilliant shot there from Harrison. Bit of footwork. Is that village from me? Probably should have got down and done a good bit of fielding, right?
The brown suedes have put the plunk out and helped the fielder. Very good for you, that, Charlie.
I think I've taken a bit of shine off the ball there.
Have you just disturbed the regulations?
Let's get the briefcase of balls out then. Brilliant shot, though, from Harrison. Lalit drops it short. And they think about a single on the fumble. I think it's a good throw there. I think the one thing for me is when a spinner comes on in the power play, if you get hit down the ground for a shot like that, I don't think the spinner will mind it too much, because he's hit a decent area and it's pretty good batting from Harrison. However, the next delivery, which was dropped short, especially the fielding side as a whole, we'll want to see as few of those as possible. That seems to be the perfect length, though. It just draws the inside edge. Good comeback there from Lalit.
So early doors, again, one of my previous bowlers in Kuwait, Yasin Patel, was fantastic at this. Left arm spinner coming in with a brand new ball, targeting the stump. So the plan was to target the pads as often as possible. If he gets hit down the ground, not a problem. He's got his fielders out. That's okay. But he's coming in, and his repertoire was fantastic. He'd go arm ball, he'd go seam up. He'd try and show one that he's going to spin. But that, from a batting point of view, you just need to see some cues. And often if the cues are not there as much, there's confusion in play. So you try and target the stumps as much as possible, but the length is key, especially with a new ball. So if you can get that drift coming back into the pads, and you can end up, affecting the LBW, or you can get a stumping from a ball that just carries its line through. That's what you really want to be looking at early doors.
Well, this is an interesting play. Now, they're only allowed 2 fielders out here, Nepal. At the minute, there's 3. There is a man almost at deep mid-wicket, just walking towards the flags out there. Deep square leg comes inside the ring. And then Nandan Yadav heads out to fine leg. Looks like deep mid-wicket's actually coming quite a bit squarer, just on the right shoulder of the man inside the ring. Karen KC bowls just back of a length as the first cheer comes from the Nepalese fans. What's the tactic here? Deep mid-wicket's actually moving further around now, almost to a deep square leg. Short ball ploy, perhaps?
I don't know. He hasn't stopped walking. That's what's confusing me. I don't know whether he's the man gone off the pitch or he's been substituted out. I'm not sure. But it seems like he's... It seems like he's off the pitch, actually. And he would have been in the right area to take that catch at the start of this over.
Well, that looks to be trickling away for 4. Another good shot from Googe. Remember, that's how we saw him get out in the first game. But we can confirm that the man who went out to deep mid-wicket was indeed getting subbed off. And it's third man who's out on the boundary along with fine leg. So back to a very orthodox field here for Karen KC. They did just drop it short and pulled away nicely there by Patrick Googe.
Yeah, it's the first sign of the pull shot that's come out. Again, the test for me needs to be a little bit more clinical, a little bit more pace. See if you can get up sort of helmet high, skid it on a little bit more. See if they affect the timing belt in terms of coming off the bat.
Patrick Googe drops his bat as he goes out for a quick single. He's still looking for a second run. That is brilliant from the young man. Brilliant show of intent. He's still looking to get back for a second run. Good solid murmur from the hospitality marquee just outside the boundary bar. You'll see it in a moment here at Grainville. A few more fans than on Monday, perhaps expecting a slightly better weather forecast. There you can see it's the top right of your screen. Good gathering of Jersey supporters.
Yeah, fantastic credit to Jersey Cricket. They've put on a real show here. It's great to see hospitality here. And most importantly, it's great to see people coming out to support their home team. Great opposition on in this series here, where we will also be seeing the UAE coming a little bit later this month.
Yeah, those 3 flags tell you that story. Nepal, Jersey, and UAE flags fluttering away. Carline looks to just slightly get squared up as he pats that one back to the bowler. It's something you picked up on last game, isn't it? How Carline looks so solid in defence, but sometimes he can just be beaten on the outside edge and can square up slightly more than other batters. But I think what Carline is so good at is the ball striking and picking up on length early. and he's been one of the pick of the Jersey batters, I'd say, over the series so far.
Yeah, and a strong batter for Jersey. I've seen him in a number of tournaments now, and he's always contributed to the side. And he's been strong in trying to get intent into the power play.
Yeah, well, he bats with some incredible power, especially in the T20 format, coming off the back of an 84 of 42 balls against Croatia. That was in the final group game of their sub-regional T20 World Cup qualifiers. That was also on a day where the entire top four all got half centuries. Guj also made 58 off 29 in that game. That was not the previous game, but the game before here for Jersey. Seemed to be friendly with all the players here, Kazim.
I've seen him around a few times. Yeah, a gentle hello wave doesn't go amiss.
Just a polite man. Bim Sharkey has just come out towards long on, just in front of us. So that is the end of the power play, everybody. 45 for none. Jersey will be very, very happy with this start. And Guj getting underway early to his third over from Lalit Rajbanshi. Big appeal. It's the reverse sweep. Looks to have got Guj outside the line of off stump. Not a bad play when we've got this angle from left arm round the wicket.
Yeah, I don't mind that at all. He's looking to be creative and inventive out there, really putting the pressure back on to the bowler. As you can see, the fielders have spread out, so there's a few more gaps to play with.
It's a nice whip of the wrist there through square leg as Guj gets to the non-striker's end. As the power play goes, Jersey will be very happy with this, won't they?
Yeah, very content. I think that's a really good start, solid start from if you're making constant, comparisons in terms of what we've seen in the first game. But overall, new day, fresh challenge. 46 after 10 overs for no wickets lost, which is really important.
Just building on that reverse sweep from Guj we saw a moment ago. There is a gap down there. Short third man is slightly wide. And what you'll see from him is Guj just trying to get that front pad well outside the line of off stump so that the umpire can't possibly give him LBW.
The slight challenge you have is that that's the best fielder on the pitch.
It's not your man, Array, is it?
It is indeed. So he's known around the world for his fielding credentials. Obviously a great batter, great all-rounder, great bowler, but his fielding is absolutely fantastic.
Carline plays it with caution as that ends the over. A good 1-2. He has been very impressive so far this morning. We queried slightly the fact that he was brought on so early in the game, but he's been very impressive. His 3 overs have gone just for 7 runs and very, very rarely giving the Jersey opening batters a ball to hit. 46 for none.
Good solid start. 11 overs gone, 46 for none. Good solid start from both teams, I reckon. I think they've both come out with different plans. They're trying, obviously Nepal trying to get through different bowlers in different stages of the game to see whether they spin early doors. Good solid start from the Jersey guys. As we can see the scorecard there. Harrison, 23 not out from the 37 balls. Looks solid so far. Capitalised on anything short. Patrick Guj, who's equally supported him from the opposite end. 22 from the 29 deliveries. Has looked in good spirits today as he sets up to face Karen KC, who's bowled his 2 overs.
Nice shot from Guj. Will yield no run though. Karen KC, who we were pretty impressed with in the first game. He had the unenviable task of holding up an end whilst Hemant Dami had all the success from the far end with the new ball spelt on Monday.
Do you think this is the reason why he's come up from?
Just bringing the outside edge of Kyle Irons back. That's what Karen KC can bring. As the 50 partnership was up for these two. It's been a solid start to this game.
It has, and I'm sure the management team are ticking the box for the first 50 years. Definitely come to Jersey. I think that's a really solid start, and they've looked good. They've tried to put the ballers off the line and lengths. They've been very clinical in their decisions, when to play, when not to play, and they've capitalised on anything that's short and wide.
There's a short and wide ball. It's been put away. With brilliant style from Patrick Googe. Picked up on it so early and skipped it away to the boundary.
Impressive cricket shot, and swiveled on it, helped it along its way to fine leg, but with some real intent. Interesting question here to Nepal now. They've got to find a way on how they're going to break this little partnership that's coming along. The danger is you let these two batters settle in really well, that they go on and kick on and get a big score, which sets a platform up before the halfway point. So you're going to have to find a wicket somewhere.
It's important to remember, as you mentioned, that despite this being almost a bit of a warm-up for Nepal for their fixtures to come, actually it's an incredibly important game for them, and one they'd want to win. Jersey is as being seen as the underdogs coming into this one. They'll be looking to show up Nepal and get a good win here on home soil. But Gulshan JER is going to come onto the bowling. Enough spin now from the pavilion end, and a good spell from Lalit Rajbanshi comes to an end. What do you know about Gulshan JER?
Good quality cricketer, good all-rounder, fierce batter, but he can do a job with the ball as well. And I'm sure he's another one of the seamers who's going to be looking to attack the stumps, cause a little bit of trouble with the variation. Looks a strong cricketer.
Well, let's see what he can offer. He pulls out of that delivery, just honing in his run-up.
Oh, that's strong.
He's just building it up, Kaz. He's just building up the tension. He knows what he's doing. Carline's got a little bit more time to think about this first delivery.
Did get a big gush of wind coming through as he was just about to go past the umpire, so maybe that's just put him off his rhythm as he's about to attack the crease.
He'll have to get used to it. Big breeze coming across the ground. And he starts well, and Carline plays him. Equally well down towards third now. That's a shot I like to see. That's a shot I've been impressed with from the Jersey batters. And whilst Nepal was so good at building up that pressure, joining the dots in the first game, actually, Nepal haven't bowled much worse, but it's bowls like that, which are on a good length, and Jersey have been. A sign there of Googe really going after a wide one, going out with hard hands, almost because, as you mentioned, because of that lack of slip, gully, a catcher in the third man area. Yes, there's a man out on the boundary, but it allows the batter to really throw the hands hard at it. And he'd be unlucky to get caught behind of a fine edge, going at it with hard hands. But here's Gulshan Jar. Brilliant stop at backward point from Arif Sheikh. Prevents the 2.
I just think with this type of ball and this type of pace, but also this type of line and length, he's a quality bowler with a strong action, and he's looking to deck hard. I would probably just like to see somebody just in that gully region, really tighten up that gap.
Almost just add a second thought into the batter's brain.
Yeah, but also, if he's looking to bowl that fifth stump line, he's not going to hit it down deep square.
And it has been a show of what Nepal have been brilliant at over the last few days, is bowling to a plan. It doesn't really feel like there's much of a plan in place at the minute, especially early doors in their bowling innings on Monday. It was their ability to bowl to a 7-2 field, keep it outside that off stump and not give anything away.
Yeah, the fact that the 6 down in a matter of 20-30 minutes kind of helped the cause, but it was an attacking field with excellent relentless bowling coming on. So you want to continue doing that as much as possible.
Good shot for no run there.
Yeah, a good shot for no run there. Well fielded by that man himself, who was looking to throw at the non-striker's end. But Bimmel, who stood at mid-on, just slightly out of place, and I don't think he would have got there with the rocket arm of Dipendra. That might have been going for extra runs.
Oh, quick bouncer. Wide given. He looks incredibly unimpressed with that one. But a well-targeted short delivery that looks like it brings a good amount of pace, skidding off this surface. And it's actually the end where we saw Julius Samaroa bowl with brilliant pace and bounce. And Gulshan's Jar is showing a sign of it again here.
Yeah, and as I expressed before, he has got a strong action. He does hit the crease hard. He's got a lovely rhythmic approach to it. But there is a strong bowling action. Once he hits that front foot, really comes down with a hard length delivery.
As Jersey tick along once more. Two batters that are easy on the eye. But very different style of batter. We've got the more brute power boundary hitting our line, and then we've got the manipulation and the almost scoreboard ticking style of batter of Patrick Googe. They're playing very well in tandem, and their partnership sits at 58 for 9 at the end of the 13th.
Is that a similar approach to the Duckett and Gate era? Is this?
I guess so. They're almost slightly different in terms of almost opposite in stature wise.
Yeah.
I guess so. But yeah, Duckett is more that aggressive style of batter, and Gade the more traditional. I guess so. Whereas I wouldn't argue either of these two are traditional opening batters. They're almost two that would also settle quite nicely into the middle order.
Yeah, they've done well. Good platform for Jersey. They've really looked to see out the new ball from both sides. Lots of changes going on from the Nepal bowling team. As we see another change from the deep end as Nandan Yadav, the number 22, comes on to bowl. Another strong seam bowler who's got a lovely rhythmic action, quite high in his approach with a little jump, vertical jump. He's got a great approach. It'll be interesting to see how he extracts anything off the pitch.
Shooting low once more from the surface. We've mentioned it a few times, but on the whole, this pitch is a great one-day wicket. It's offering enough for bat and ball. We've seen balls whiz past the outside edge, and we've seen balls clatter away to the boundary. Feels like there's a lot on offer for both departments.
Yeah, and credit goes to the ground staff here. They've done really well to maintain the same wicket as well. Great cricket wicket. I think there's a lot to offer. There's something for everybody there.
Lots of changes going on from the Nepal.
Yadav gets on to tail back in.
As we see another.
And Googe, I think, thought there might have been a fielder in the ring there because he sprinted to the non-striker's end as if a throw was about to come in. Little did he know, actually a 2 was on offer.
And I think it was Harrison who was looking for the 2,
Yeah.
turned around looking for the 2, only to see his partner 20 metres past the umpire, who wasn't interested at all.
Must say, I'm really enjoying watching Googe go about his business today.
Yeah, he's looked strong. He's looked good, and it'll be a real confidence booster for him as well. 29 of 36. He's played really well. Played the short ball really well.
Carline just punching it, timing it away through the point area. Picked up by Isham Pandey. My style of cricketer is Googe. Looking for singles off the good deliveries. Where can he find the next run? Wide gap between mid-on and the keeper. 2 deep fielders. Square leg and fine leg.
Fielders. Square leg and fine leg. Fielders.
Nandan Yadav
Square leg and fine leg.
thinks about the way that he can take his next wicket. No real catcher in. Mid-wicket is now in to cover up the mid-wicket gap. Googe gets on top of it, finds another single in the leg side. So, former head coach of Q8 Kaz, let's say you've drinks break, few overs away now. What would you be telling your players from a fielding point of view with the opening batters having a good stand on?
I'd be looking to obviously instill confidence as much as possible because the body language has just dropped a little bit. Second thing is from a bowling perspective, I'd probably like to see my spinners coming on from the current end and the seamers coming on from this end. And if anything, trying to just be a little bit tighter inside the ring to just create a moment of brilliance. Got to find a way to take a wicket, whether that's a run out, a catch in the deep, a mistake from the batters. But one thing is definitely for sure, there can't be any width on offer. From a bowling perspective, you've just got to be a little bit tighter for me, and not give any cheap runs away. Because once you break this partnership, potentially could bring a second batter in play. As we see the bowling card there, lots of changes. You can see the Nepal guys ringing the changes. Everyone's bowled 3 overs apart from the 2 lads bowling now, Gulshan JER and Nandan Yadav. 3 for 21 from Karan KC. Of his 3 overs, 3 overs gone for Lalit, who's also gone for 7, who's been probably the most economical bowler, I say. And the 2 opening bowlers, Sampal Kami and Hamad
Dami, yeah, they bowled well in tandem, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. And from Jersey's perspective, this is, the last over, that was Gulshan's first over against him, so they probably wouldn't have faced him or seen him before. They've probably seen a lot of videos of him, but you can see he's got a very different approach, a little bit taller than Sampal. Looks to hit the deck harder, so the bounce is coming harder and hitting the spice of the bat harder. Poses different threats and different challenges.
JER looks like he's coming in with some good pace here. Goose just looks slightly jumpy. Almost as if the pace is a little bit quicker than we've seen elsewhere today. But Goose remaining firm. He's on 30 now. Same as Carline, 62 for 9.
Yes, strong position at the crease. But I'm really impressed with Gulshan. He's really putting some effort into these deliveries, and you can see he's probably been the quickest on shore so far from all the bowlers, all the fast bowlers.
I wonder if at some point we might see JER really pitch one up towards the stumps. This one is short out towards mid-wicket. Picked up on it quickly there, did Googe, and looks up to the sky in slight annoyance that he didn't get more hold of it. Deep square is quite backward, so there is a gap between mid-wicket and that fielder. But just for a bit of context, in the first game, Jersey were 62 for 8 when they got to this total. There's a quick bumper. Good decision, though, from Googe to pull out of the pull shot. Not always the easiest shot to pull out of, especially when you're a compulsive hooker of the ball.
Yeah, and a really good learning point for youngsters and batters in general. He's obviously moved the deep square slightly in front, so you know something's coming down. He's bowled it quick, fiercely at the head, and a positive leave. It is a sign of an attack for me. It's a great option to have. So you can leave the ball to obviously respect the ball and save your wicket.
Tickled away. Didn't quite get enough bat on it to scare the boundary. It's been picked up by fine leg for a single. It's a definite plan now from Nepal to target the 2 deep fielders out at square leg and fine leg with the short ball stuff. But I really am thinking that they're pushing Googe slightly on the back foot. Carline is now on strike, and I wouldn't be surprised at some point if JER just, when he's ready, bowls a full, quick Yorker.
Yes, a variation ball.
Yeah.
But what we also haven't seen is a variation from the seamers.
Yeah.
So on this pitch where you can see it's a little bit too paced, haven't quite seen that just yet.
And a top edge runs away for 4. And the picture of JER tells the story, hands on head, as he knows the plan almost came into fruition. But that ends the over. Jersey will take the boundary. They'll move on. It's 67 for 9 at the end of the 15th. Umpires having a little discussion now, maybe talking about a drinks break, although I think they've found the ball. I'll have a little look at it as it skipped away, almost went over a fence down there at fine leg. Umpire's going to have a little look at the ball. Now it's back in the bowler's hands. Carline will take that boundary and run with it. Not in the style he would have wanted, but 4. Googe pulls away well. And it beats the diving fielder. Brilliant shot. The short ball didn't quite get up on the opening batter. And Nandan Yadav almost just looked like he tried to go in the helmet region. It didn't quite get up, and Goose punished it away for 4.
Yeah, it's been quite evident from that side that the ball isn't quite getting up. It's not as sort of helmet high, regardless of the effort going in. And you have to really dig it in short and really